We are still on a 12-4 run, even though it was 12-3 before Monday Night Football, where I told you to take the under 47 between the Patriots and the Giants, and it ended on 48. What can you do? We can't win every single bet, but I'm going to get on the right side of Thursday Night Football between the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions with my favorite player prop. We're also going to talk about the spread and the total with plenty of analysis. Welcome to the channel. My name is Peter Apple, and this is the home for all of my NFL picks. And my goal is to give you the best free picks with the best free analysis that I can muster. And all I ask for in return, smash the like button, comment down below any feedback on the video, on the picks. What are your favorite picks for Thursday Night Football? And make sure to hit that big red subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you never miss any of my plays. 12-4 run is still a good heater, but after one loss, let's start another streak just like we swept on Sunday. 4-0. I don't want any losses here, so make sure to hit that big red subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get into it. But before we get to the plays, a reminder that you can find all of my picks on BetMGM. Just remember to use code JustGridiron if you're new, because if your first pick loses, you get it all back in bonus bets up to $1,500. Also, real quick before we begin, I have a special offer for you. And as you all know, lines tend to move, right? So I'll give you my process. I send it to our Discord. I write all of the information that I'm going to be talking about to you in this video. We produce the video and then we post it. At that time, lines tend to move, right? I have a player prop right now, and by the time you're listening to this, lines are subject to change. But I also host a baseball podcast, the Just Baseball Show, and we just hit our 1,000th episode. And because of that, it is a big baseball group chat, but in the group chat, we also have an NFL section where I send my picks as soon as I place them. So everybody in the Discord gets the exact same line that I do. If you are interested in that, plus sweating them out, plus here asking me any questions of the NFL slate, plus I also drop all of my NFL model predictions for every week in our Discord. Normally, it's just $10 a month, less than a price of a sandwich. But because it is our 1,000th episode of the Just Baseball Show, we're giving everybody a free month, and I wanted to extend it to all of those who watch my NFL videos. Again, nothing's going to change. These videos are still the same. We've had the Discord now for a while, but if you are interested in at least trying it out, it's free for 1 month. If you don't like it, just cancel it after, or you can stay for the rest of the NFL season and get every single line I place, access to my NFL model, and of course, throughout the week, sweating out picks and asking any questions that you want. So you can find the link for that in the episode description. Again, it's code JB1000 for 1 free month to the Discord. Before we talk about my favorite player prop, let's talk about the spread and the total. Total is quick. I have it at 54. Right now in the market, the total is anywhere from 53.5 to 54.5. So nothing there. But in terms of the spread, I am showing value. Not quite enough to get involved, but I think it's important to talk about. So the market made a huge adjustment to this game after Thanksgiving. The look-ahead line, right, and this was just a week ago, was Lions -6. Now in the market, you are seeing Lions -3. Now, a bettor like myself, we've talked about this plenty of time, we've had plenty of success in doing this, is buying low on a team like the Lions, especially when my model makes the Lions -4.5. I've adjusted, not all the way down to -3. Now, you guys know I also need 2 points of value to fire on a spread. So it's still right outside my purview of where I want to get involved. And I'm just not totally sold that my numbers are right, at least for the Lions, because the Lions have just been a really confusing team. And they're so banged up. And they haven't been playing well. Are we power ranking the Lions still too high? Are they a top 5 team in the NFC or not? It's really hard to know. I mean, this team lost to J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings. 9. They lost to 9. And it all stems from this O-line. They're missing 2 big pieces. Frank Ragnow, again, the biggest. But the thing is, I'm not backing a public dog in Dallas. I'm not doing it, as I still think the Dallas Cowboys are overvalued in the market. So if I had to make a pick, it would be the Lions -3. Of course, if you can get Lions -2.5 at anywhere up to -120, I still think that's a good angle. If you put a gun in my head, I would still take the Lions as my spread pick, but I would rather attack this player prop. And yes, the Lions are banged up, right? Cornerback Terry Arnold is out for an extended period of time, as is wide receiver Khalif Raymond, tight end Brock Wright. The big one is Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is currently a game time decision. But even if he does play, I doubt he'll be very effective, more of a decoy type role after spraining his ankle last week against the Packers. The original diagnosis was he was going to miss 1 week or two, but he's trying to tough it out. He's a tough guy. He's going to try and give it a go, and he's got a tough head coach in Dan Campbell. Also, the Lions need wins, so he might play. I just have my doubts he's going to be healthy, and he's definitely not going to be the same Amon-Ra St. Brown when he actually is healthy. So I think a different Lions wide receiver is going to get involved. Now, the Cowboys defense has absolutely improved since the deadline. That's why they're getting a lot of respect in the market right now after a few big time wins, right? They added defensive tackle Quinnen Williams, one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. They also got Logan Wilson, a linebacker from the Bengals. And they're also getting back over the last 3 weeks Demarvion Overshown. Excuse me if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but I've watched plenty of him over the last 3 weeks. The dude is a freak of nature at the linebacker position. From week 1 to week 10, the Cowboys ranked 31st in success rate, 30th against the pass, and 31st against the run. Terrible. But they added those three. From weeks 11 to week 13, Cowboys rank 11th in success rate, 16th against the pass, and 7th against the run. They've done really well defending the run. But the passing game, I still think, is a question, and that's what I want to attack. Now, what part of the passing game? Well, the one that the Cowboys are weakest at, the deep ball. They've allowed the fourth most completions of 20 plus yards and the fifth highest completion percentage on 20 plus yard air or 20 plus air yard passes, excuse me. Overall, the Dallas Cowboys have allowed the most yards in the NFL on passes of 20 or more air yards. So, who has the highest ADOT on the Lions? ADOT means average depth of target, a stat that measures how far downfield a quarterback targets a receiver on average. You might expect it to be Jamison Williams, who is second on the Lions at 13.1. He has a great matchup against the Cowboys on Thursday night, but because of these injuries and because he's likely to be slotted in as the number one wide receiver, he's likely the one that the Cowboys are going to be paying the most attention to. It's also the player that most bettors are going to gravitate towards. So when I looked at his lines, there wasn't any value based on my model, which leaves room for the number one pass catcher for Detroit when it comes to average depth of target. Have you guessed it yet? Isaac Tesla. In a limited sample, when the Lions have their full complement of stars, right? When Laporta is back and Amon-Ra and Brock Wright even, and Khalif Raymond, he barely plays. But with all these injuries and Amon-Ra getting hurt, in his last game, he saw 2 catches for 35 yards. Now, he only has 6 receptions on the year and 11 targets, but all 6 receptions have been for more than 11 yards. He's a big 6'4 receiver who's having success with deep passes, and that's still the best way to beat the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys, their defense has gotten better, but they are still susceptible to the deep ball. They allowed multiple 20-plus yard passes to Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown against the Eagles, and against the Chiefs, they allowed 4 different receivers to catch 20-plus yard passes or more. Ford Field in Detroit is indoors, so we don't have to worry about wind or anything, and Jared Goff has always been better at home versus on the road. With few weapons to go to, Isaac Tesla should get a bump in targets. And when he does, they're going deep. Give me Isaac Tesla over 32 and a half receiving yards for my best bet on Thursday night. Now, make sure to monitor the injury report. I'm comfortable making this now because with my projections, even with Amon-Ra playing in a limited kind of role for Detroit, I still have him over 32 and a half. Not much, but around the 36 yard projection. Without Amon-Ra, we're in the high 40s. So I'm making the bet now. I still see value on either side, but if Amon-Ra doesn't play, I think this guy is in line for a good ladder play where you take 40 plus or 50 plus. And it also depends on the market, because if Amon-Ra does get announced out, you're likely not going to see that value anymore. But if you want to take the chance and you really don't think Amon-Ra is going to play, I think a ladder could be in store for Isaac Tesla to get over 50 plus yards. But I'm comfortable taking over 32 and a half. So again, thank you all for listening. If you want to join our Discord, remember it is a free month using code JB1000. All you got to do is click the link in the episode description. You'll get all of my NFL picks as soon as I bet them, so you get the same line. You get access to my NFL model. We sweat all the plays out together, and it's really fun. And if you ever have questions about any play, I'll be in there to answer those. So again, free month in the episode description. Thank you all for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, the whole nine. It's the best way to support the channel for absolutely free. And a free month of Discord. Everything's free right now during the holidays. But the one thing we have to remember, and it's very important, it's not gambling advice.